Accounting Adjustments Problem 3. Plum Painting Services has weekly payroll of $27,000. December 31st falls on a Wednesday, and Plum will pay its employees the following Monday on January 5th for the previous full week. Assume that Plum has a 5-day work week and has an unadjusted balance in salaries expense of $760,000 at December 31st. What amount should be debited to salaries expense on December 31st? Since this is an accounting adjustment question, you have to think about the 4 different types of adjustments. You've got the prepaid expenses, and you've got the unearned revenues, which are considered the deferrals. Then you've got the accruals, which include accrued revenues and accrued expenses. So which of the 4 is this? This is accrued expenses. And the reason accrued expenses mean that the actual work that your employees have done. Here specifically we're dealing with employees, right? We're dealing with Plum Painting Services. It has payroll of $27,000. So payroll, you're dealing with your employees and paying them. The employees have actually performed services. The company Plum, has just yet to pay them. So that's what the accrued expenses adjustment is all about. That adjustment to adjust that issue. Let me draw out something visually to help you understand, because the best way to understand accrued expenses is to understand, remember, these adjustments, they're all about timing. And the best way to understand accrued expenses is for me to draw out a little calendar. I'll actually draw 2 little calendars. So we've got, draw this out. And what you're going to see is you're going to see one for the month of December, and you're going to see one for the month of January. And let's say that Plum, its accounting period ends the end of the year, end of the month, doesn't matter. For this, we'll just say end of the month to keep it simple. We're going to have December on the left side. On the right side, we're going to have January. And think about a traditional calendar. You've got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Think about the days. Let's break those down. And then in January we have the same thing. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Again, think about the days on the calendar. This will help you better understand what exactly is going on here. So, end of December, we're looking at the last few days of December. The idea, don't worry about the if you can fit the rest of it on there. The last few days of December, Sunday, the last Sunday in December in this specific month is the 28th. Monday is the 29th. Tuesday is the 30th. And then Wednesday is the 31st. And that's the end of the month. And then the first week in January, the first day is on Thursday, which is the 1st. Friday is the 2nd. 3rd is Saturday. The 4th is Sunday. And the 5th is on Monday. Now, this is what's going on here. Traditionally, Plum Painting, not traditionally, this is what happens. They pay their employees. They work 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Traditional work week, traditional 5-day work week. Okay, 5-day work week. And the idea is that in a normal week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, just in the middle of a month, they'll pay out their employees on Monday for the previous week. That's Monday through Friday. So think about in the end of December. The end of December, the work week will be, starts Monday, the 29th, then Tuesday the 30th, then Wednesday the 31st, then continues into January. January 1st is on Thursday, and then Friday 2nd. And just ignore holidays. Assume they work through the holidays. Just bear with me. You might be thinking, well, what about holidays? Don't they get off? Well, maybe they get paid for vacation for those holidays. They still get paid for vacation. So it's those 5 days. Those 5 days. Here's the issue. If they report every month or even yearly, if they're a calendar year, on December 31st, we have to close the books on the last day. But remember, they're not getting paid until the 5th. So the journal entry would take place on the 5th when they get paid. So what we do is we accrue up to December 31st to close out the month or close out the year. On December 31st of this year, we accrue 3 days of the 5 days worth of work. So the 29th, the 30th, and 31st, because all the rest of the month has been recorded already, right? The 29th, they were paid for the previous week. Again, considering vacation, because I know that Christmas falls on the previous week. So 12/31, we have to accrue 3 days. 3 days of the 5 days. If we don't do that, we're not properly reflecting the expenses, what we have actually, our employees have actually worked, and also what we owe our employees as of that date legally. Because think about it, for those out there that have full-time jobs, part-time jobs, whatever it is, if you perform a day's worth of work, do you have a right to get paid for that amount? Yes, you do. Now, if you don't perform work, you don't have a right to get paid. But if you do, if you've worked on a day, right? You've worked December 29th, December 30th, December 31st. Even if the next day, if you end up quitting, you still have a right under law to get paid for the 29th, 30th, and 31st. So as of the close of the month, December 31st, we had to record 3 days. Now, we're told that they get paid $27,000 each week. $27,000 each week. So the way we calculate this is we take $27,000, which is the weekly pay, divide that by 5 days a week. That equals $5,400 per day. $5,400 per day is technically what Plum Painting is paying. Now, of course, they only pay the $27,000 each week. So you can think of it like 29th results in $5,400, 30th results in $5,400, 31st results in $5,400, and then over here, the 1st and 2nd of January, $5,400, $5,400, and that, if you multiply those 5 numbers together, you get $27,000. We just need to record 3 $5,400s because these 3 need to go on December 31st. These 2, they'll go on the January financial statements. They will go, that journal entry we're going to do on January 5th, when we actually pay, they'll be recorded then. So we need to calculate 5,400 times 3, and that equals the amount that's accrued, which is what the question's asking. It's asking what amount should be debited to salaries expense on December 31st. I know I didn't focus on that, but that's really what we're doing here. We're calculating the salaries expense at the close of the year. That's 5,400 times 3, which is $16,200. And that's how we calculate it. So the best way to understand accrued expenses like this one, look at these at the calendar. It really does help you understand.